Kayfabe Queens!
My name is Emelia, and I'm joined by my wrestle pal.
Ow!
And today, oh my gosh, today we are like just the gratitude in the air. Holy moly, we had the opportunity to interview someone, one half of an amazing tag team. Elle, tell us all about it.
Oh, but not only this, it is our 40th episode, everybody. I don't know how we made it to 40 before I get into our episode. Just thankful that anybody who's ever listened to us this past 40 episodes stuck with us. Now we have big plans, starting with this awesome, fun, amazing interview we got with one half of the West Coast Wrecking Crew tag team. Seen them all over the place. GCW, NWA, AEW, New Japan, casual, all places you find wrestlers. But killing the game, we got a cool, awesome, amazing opportunity to talk with one of our favorite dudes, Royce Isaacs. So cool, so awesome.
So cool.
Yes.
Oh my God. I mean, I don't know about you, Elle, but I was super nervous. But once we got into it, he was just so kind. And man, like I said, I'm so full of gratitude. I'm sure you are too, that he took time out of his busy, very busy schedule to like chat with a couple of wrestling nerds. I mean, thank you so much, Royce. Holy moly.
Thank you again. If you do not know who Royce Isaacs is, get on the Google machine, look him up. The star is on the rise. You're going to be seeing a lot more of him and Jarrell Nelson. Pretty much everywhere soon, I'm sure. Someone's going to swoop him up.
And we got to chat about a lot of different things about like the career, where he's been, where he's going, gear. We talked music. I mean, everything. So, we hope you enjoyed this episode because we are elated.
Yes, we're very excited. All right. Oh, well, let's get this out of the way. Where can we find you on the internet just before?
Well, you could find me. I reactivated my Instagram and I'm at daftpansy.com. Wait, no, at daftpansy. I have a blog, but I don't really use it. You can find me on Twitter at daftpansy, DAFTPANSY. I'm on TikTok, Hey Emelia, HEYEMELIA. I'm back. I took a hiatus, but I'm back. Where can we find you, Elle?
Oh, you can find me over on Twitter at Kayfabe Out. You can find me on Instagram at Al__, two underscores. Yeah. I have a TikTok also, Al__, yeah, but my old millennial self hasn't figured out how to use it, but we'll figure it out. This is the year we figured out. Follow the show.
I'm stumbling through it.
It's not good. Follow the show everywhere at Kayfabe Queens, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We have big things.
5-star rating.
5 stars. Apple Podcasts, wherever you rate us.
That's right.
Like us on YouTube, thumbs up, share, subscribe, all the buttons, and enjoy this interview.
Yes. Okay, awesome. Hey, everybody. So we have a very special guest today, and we're ever so grateful that he is joining us. Thank you so much. We have the Royce Isaacs, one half of the tag team West Coast Wrecking Crew. Welcome to the show, Royce.
Hey, it's great to be here. You guys have been big supporters of myself and Jarrell for a long time, so it was definitely, as soon as you guys set the request, I was like, we got to figure it out for sure.
Yeah, thank you for working with our schedule and figuring it out. You're a very busy man. If people do not know who you are, former NWA Tag Team Champion, Best of the West champion. That's where we found you first. All over the globe, recently, all over the place. I'm sorry, your month of May has been crazy. GCW, AEW, even including today. Haven't watched it yet, but I will. And a little thing called New Japan. Little New Japan in there, just cash, super cash,
No
yes, no big deal. And again,
the biggest deal.
Pretty big deal. One half of the West Coast Wrecking Crew, again, formerly known as 1%. We're so happy to be here. Sorry, we're just kind of fangirling, but we're very excited. We're just proud.
Yeah, we told you we weren't gonna do it, but
We're hopped up
Of
on
course
caffeine.
we're gonna do it.
Sometimes you just gotta feel it in the moment, and it just happens.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, we're praising you, so I don't think you're like. But no, seriously, we're like super proud. We're super excited. I feel like we've been knowing that you're talented. You and Jarrell, you guys are making waves. We saw it. We saw you guys Best of the West here in Fresno a couple years back, and we're like, who are these dudes? And we just wanted to support you, and we wanted to have you on to talk and tell the world about you.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, you guys have been singing our praises for quite some time now, and I always really appreciated that. And I don't know. I think that Jarrell and myself kind of had that same feeling that we knew we were onto something special with like the chemistry and the partnership, and it feels good to finally have some momentum back on our side. We had gotten split up when I had gone to the NWA, and then when I left the NWA, there was the pandemic and everything, so it was like really hard to kind of I don't know, I felt like one of those like early like airplane models where they had to like run with it on the ground until like to try to get the momentum. But like now it's like we've been doing some big stuff with you know, New Japan and AEW and everything like that. So it's felt good to get some momentum back on our side and to do some really cool stuff, because I know you know, it feels great, but I also know that we're capable of even more than we've shown so far. So it's good.
Yeah. You've had some like really big matches, yeah. But
oh my God, yes.
SCU. I'm sorry, you were Eddie Kingston and John Moxley last week. You know, just some.
Yeah.
You got the win over Chris Dickinson. How?
Yeah.
How did all of this come together? Let's just go into that first. How did all of these appearances? This is
like the pushing of the plane. Like where
now you're here.
What's going on? What happened?
Yeah, no, so I mean, the Dickinson match was something that I'd wanted for a long time. He's, I think, one of the most talented guys in wrestling anywhere today. I think his style, it's something I definitely dig in terms of kind of how hard hitting and brutal he is, how intense he is. We've actually trained together quite a bit with Josh Barnett here in LA. And it's one of those things where, like in anything else, if you were friendly with someone, you'd be like, oh, like, cool, we'll do a podcast together, or we'll do this. Like, but like in wrestling, you're like, let's harm each other. This will be great.
If given the task, I'd beat her up, honestly. I would.
Yeah, well, see, there, then you get it.
I would let her.
But I've been mostly focusing on the tag team wrestling lately, but that was one that I was like, this one's for me. Like, this is something that I want to do for sure. I have a short list, and Chris Dickinson was honestly at the top of that. So shout out to Jamie Ivian, who ran the Anti-Up event along with GCW and was able to get that set up, because I thought that was one of my favorite matches I've ever been a part of, and I'm still freaking sore from all the different head drops and forearms and all that stuff. So
it was good. I mean, it paid off, because as a fan watching it, it was really, really good. And oh my God, I was like texting Elle, like, she was like, you have to watch this match. And I watched it finally. I was like, hey, won! So we are so happy for you. That was awesome. And it was a great match. And it was it was a good event the whole way around.
Yeah, no, I thought the event was really good. The whole Anti-Up event from start to finish, there was a lot of good variety of different styles of wrestling on display. And and I mean, for the first time that Jamie really ran an event, I thought he did a really good job. So it's on YouTube for free if anyone wants to check it out on the GCW YouTube page. I recommend anyone go do that for sure.
It's really good. I perfectly came in at your match, and I was like, oh hell yeah, I get to see Royce's match, and I was like, oh, main event. I was like, all right, sweet. And I was like hard hitting, so good. Seriously, watch it. So is that like so that
absolutely, for sure.
But so you want to focus more on tag team, you and Jarrell taking over the world. That's all. That's what we want to do.
Yeah.
Just cash.
I think me and Jarrell are on something special. Like, I think we really, like I said, have kind of only tapped into a fraction of what we're capable of, and we've already done, you know, some really cool stuff, but I think that is really the tip of the iceberg. I don't know. I've known that for a long time, like even before we kind of got split apart and had to go our own separate ways for a little bit. That definitely made me, you know, I wasn't super happy about that, but it is what it is. And now we're kind of back on the right track. And I mean, I don't know, it was like riding a bike. Like as soon as we had our first match back together, October of last year, and it was like, oh yeah, like we still got all of our like chemistry, all of our moves are like we're right there. We still got that. Like Jarrell's really like on like some real life shit been there for me. Like he's like my best friend. He's helped me through tough situations before, so I think there's something there in terms of just like we can give each other just a look and we know what the other one's thinking. We kind of just have that, like how twins have that psychic connection, except for we're not twins. Like I'm like 3 years older than him, and like I'm like 5 years older than him, and he's got different parents and all this stuff or whatever. So I don't know like where we got this psychic connection from, but like
twin flame.
I'm rocking with it for sure. Yes. Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. That's really, really cool.
It's just meant to be, you know.
I mean, you could definitely tell. You could definitely tell too. You guys, like as fans, when you come out together, there's like you amplify each other. It's amazing, and you do such a great job with like the support from me. Like you could tell. It's just awesome. It's great. So if that's just the tip of the iceberg, I'm just really excited for the rest.
Oh yeah,
I'm ready. So you guys are split up. You were in the NWA. We can touch on that. Was that like cool, or were you just kind of like, okay, I did it, I want to leave and move on, or you know, it's just like would you have rather been with him, or because you've done some cool things there?
Yeah.
Or do we want to talk about
it? No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. Obviously, the NWA opportunity was really big for me, and I got to do some really great stuff there. Some really cool things. Like I won the World Tag Team titles. That's like a really cool thing that you know, my name's in the history books there. That'll never be erased. That's you know, I got to meet some really good friends. Like the crew over there was great. You know, I've still talked to pretty much everyone that I was friendly with over there. Tons of like really, really talented people. But I do think, you know, when I left, it was the appropriate time too. I was ready to go, and you know, it's not like you know, anything personal. Sometimes I think you just see different things for yourself than maybe like someone there does. Like you value yourself differently or whatever. And I did want to get back to teaming with Jarrell quite a bit, and that's why that's been such a focus over here. Just like I realized that I really missed that, and I knew that was the right fit. And that's, you know, nothing against anyone at NWA and whatever, but it's one of those nuanced situations where like I'm thankful for the opportunity, and I definitely was able to further my career with it. But there came a time when it was like, okay, I think that I can do something else on my own, and maybe that would be more fulfilling to myself, which is something that, you know, that can only be in my heart and whatever.
Yeah.
And I think
that's a really healthy way to go about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think so far, I would say that the betting on myself has turned out really well in my favor, because New Japan's always been a dream of mine. AEW is a place that I really want to continue to work at. And, you know, doing stuff like Bloodsport has been also like, that was like a dream, like checklist goal. So I've gotten to do like goal after goal after goal, knock it out. So it's been like great so far, kind of being post NWA.
Yeah, I think it's just any job too. Cool. You're like, okay, I need to move on. It just happens.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy though? I'm gonna do one quick question though. Being the overbearing boyfriend to our girl May Valentine. I thought that was just fun.
Honestly, I oh god, that was no, I did not. And that's nothing against her. Like that was just the roles that we were put into, kind of thing. But I honestly, like, it felt really weird, especially in like 2019, 2020 when it was happening.
That's the played out sort of.
Yeah, I'm like this. Yeah, and I'm like the. Yeah, not only is it kind of played out, but it's also like semi-problematic where I'm being overbearing and like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like people are like getting canceled for this stuff, and I'm like,
that way.
this is
Like,
fake.
whoa.
Like, whoa, chill. Like I'm way cooler in person, I promise. But like, I mean, we went like all in on it. Like our social medias, like my mom thought we were like really dating and all this stuff. Like
Mom,
I was getting messages about. I was like, no. Yeah,
Kayfabe, man, kayfabe.
But like, I'm glad that like we went for it and we tried.
Oh, we were eating it up. We
I loved it.
Good. I'm glad you guys liked
drama.
it.
I really liked it.
There were some mixed response. Like some people really liked it, some people really didn't. I didn't think it was quite the right fit for me, but like that was the thing. It was like if I was gonna do it, I was at least gonna go all in and try to, you know, fake everyone out and make people try to really buy into the story and whatever. But you know, I don't know. I think it is what it is. It was a good learning experience, and I tried to show my my range, and I think I did. So
you did
exactly.
You know, you took it. It was a good time. I think because I was like, I know he's not like that, so like,
right.
Enjoy it. Like I'm gonna watch her vlogs. Like it's cute. Like
yeah, sure.
I have a list. Sorry.
He does have a list.
I do.
I don't.
No, you're good.
So well, yeah, you bet on yourself during a pandemic, and it worked. And how is it doing shows now, like with no people or limited people or your peers? Is it weird to be like such a good part of your career with nobody?
It is a little weird. It's you have to adapt to it kind of and find your rhythm, and I don't know, just figure out how to, like, you're not going to hit a big move and like look out to the crowd because sometimes there's no one there. But also it's like a weird mixed bag where like one weekend I'll work in front of zero crowd, one weekend I'll work in front of, you know, just my peers, whatever, and then, you know, all of a sudden I'm in Tampa for Bloodsport and there's full capacity, like holy crap. Or at Andy Up, there was a bunch of fans there because like Vegas is a little bit more open, but that was like half capacity, I want to say, or something. But it was like enough.
Still.
Yeah. So it's a little bit weird in that aspect too, where like one week you're working for, you know, all right, well, I guess hopefully this is cool. Like, hope they like this. And then like getting that like instant response. I mean, wrestling is wrestling, and I love performing regardless. Like it's in any setting. I think it's great, but it is nice to finally have some things opening back up and to get fans places and have that again, you know.
Yeah. Right.
Oh yeah, we definitely
exciting. I can't wait to go to my first show again. I'm excited.
Next month. Finally. Best of the West.
Oh yeah.
So where was I gonna go? Emelia, I think you have a very important question. I think it's time for your very important question about fashion.
Oh, fashion. I'm not the most fashionable, but I do appreciate good gear. And so our first impression of like when 1% came out, you had your fringe jacket and you had like fringy boots, and I was just a sucker for fringe altogether. You had velvet. And I was like, what? Who are these dudes? What the heck? And you were all up in our faces, like straight up heels. So it was great. So when you decided like getting into wrestling, you want to be a wrestler, did you have a vision of like how you wanted to look as far as like what was going to, like where did the fringe come from? What made you want to do fringe? Do you have visions for the future for like gear?
Yeah, so I feel like I didn't really like. I always liked fringe. I always thought fringe was cool, but I didn't really put it together with wrestling until I want to say like maybe 2017 or so. Like before that, I don't know. I've never been much of a minimalist. Like I've always wanted to have like a big personality and express myself in wrestling terms. Like that's my art, so that's where I want to be expressive and show off. But it was just one of those things where I always thought fringe looked cool, and then at some point I was like, well, you know, like no one's really doing the fringe like hardcore right now. And so I started to incorporate. I think my first thing was I had some boots, like, and they were shorter boots, they had a little bit of fringe on them, and then I got longer boots with the fringe, and then I found a jacket, and for a while I had some like wrist tassels and all this stuff.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So it just kind of became like my thing, and I was like, this is like a interesting look, and it's like when I'm like running and so I don't have like super long hair, so I have like my tassels are like giving me some like dynamic looking like as far as the like the trunks and whatnot, I've like the velvet I was just into. I thought it was cool. I thought it was a good look, and like especially like the purple velvet, I thought me and Jarrell pulled off really well. It just was like a good color.
Royal.
You're right. Yeah, exactly. We've been doing some new stuff with the West Coast Wrecking Crew gear, but like I mean, you'll see on the AEW Dark Elevation match that dropped today, I was rocking purple. It wasn't velvet, but it was a little different, a little shinier. I've actually been doing the designs for the new stuff. It's been cool to kind of try to, I come from a family of artists, so it's kind of nice to try to flex my muscle there and find some interesting fabrics and go to my gear people and be like, yo, can you combine with this and then put this across and whatever. And it's really cool. But me and Jarrell were talking, and he was like, yo, those purple velvets were fire. We got to find a way to like find a new iteration that we can bring it back. And I was like, all right,
revive it.
Let's definitely, we'll do like it'll be like kind of a redux, but we'll bring something new to it as well. So
2021. Love it. But you have to, I think you have to look like a star to be taken seriously like a star. So again, when we saw you guys, we're like, oh, everyone can be talented, but like the first impression is still wrestling. Like our first show, we didn't know anybody, and we're like, who are the dudes in the velvet? Those ones. We hate those guys, but we also love them.
But we love them.
Okay, I think I hated them and you loved them.
It's all part of it. You want to look the part, you want to dress the part, and you want to also like you have to your swagger, everything about you kind of has to portray what you're also be congruent and together and portray what you're trying to do. And usually it's to look like a star or bad guy star.
Did you have any inspiration? Like did you have any like not idols, but people who were like you took kind of things from and you're like, yeah, we got to incorporate a little bit of this, a little bit of that?
I mean, I'm a huge fan of Rick Rude, Mr. Perfect. Big. I was a big Stone Cold guy growing up, but like all iterations of Steve Austin, like this young, stunning Steve Austin was great as well. I mean, I kind of try to take little bits and pieces and inspiration from everywhere. Even from like outside of wrestling, like Jack Burton from Big Trouble in Little China, I think is a great character to look at if you want to be a wrestler.
Absolutely.
So it's always good to get like kind of inspiration for. I mean, honestly, most Kurt Russell films you could take some kind of wrestling inspiration from. Really, if you're thinking about it. And I'm clearly a big Kurt Russell fan. I liked when I first got into wrestling, less so now, but I used the first Mortal Kombat movie, the Johnny Cage character. I was kind of like, oh, like this is the part where you're gonna fall down.
Nice.
So I don't know, I think it's good to always have you never want to like when you just take from one thing, then you're stealing. And if you just take everything from wrestling, things get too like in its own weird wrestling bubble. But if you take from a lot of different wrestlers and you take from a lot of different like pop, cultures, movies, whatever, then all of a sudden you make like a beautiful gumbo that's your own.
I think that goes for just real life too, as for his personality. Like I could just say I was inspired by like Chris Farley and like Mike Myers, and I just adapted their personalities as a kid, and like, well, this is me now. So I'd imagine that is something that could be adapted in wrestling, where you're just finding
You don't live down by the river though. You're fine.
To put what you've been listening to stuff. So Oh, I froze.
Yeah, you were
sorry.
frozen for a little bit. Sorry, we had technical issues.
Yeah, my
Repeat
internet
yourself?
connection ends unstable.
Okay, repeat yourself.
I was gonna say, like, what gets you pumped when you're like hitting, the gym? What's your favorite? What's your go-to? Or does it change?
It does change a little bit. I mostly listen to rap, especially at the gym. Like, it just kind of fast paced, keeps me going. I've been listening to a lot of Chicago drill music lately, because that's like, I mean, that's just always like super high energy. I mean, always like the gang violence that actually is behind the stories is horrible, and I hope that it stops. But the music is like really like, oh, I'm like, oh hell yeah, Dis and Dead Ops, let's go, yeah. But yeah, no, I probably like 99% of the time I'll listen to some kind of rap. There's a lot of stuff that I'll listen to that's a little bit more like underground or kind of whatever. Like I get nerdy about like people who can rhyme words really well, so I'll listen to some weird like basement tapes, B cuts, like underground stuff. But like I don't know, I'm all over the place. I'm pretty eclectic within my rap.
Right.
And then there's like a few like punk and like rock, metal, whatever's that I'll listen to, but it really is like mostly rap, especially though, like you're talking about for the gym to get pumped up, like throw on some like, if I'm like lately, probably like a lot of King Von or like FBG Duck, because those are drill guys, but like Copyright is this like this rapper from Columbus that's like really good at rhyming stuff that's like no one's heard of, but he's one of the best rappers I think ever, like at rhyming words. So he's I don't know. Anyways, I'm like real weird and nerdy about. He's not like super fast. I mean, he can be fast, but he's not like necessarily super fast. It's more like he'll rhyme like 8 syllables at a time kind of thing or whatever. So it's like really impressive.
That is cool.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like cool to hear someone be able to put stuff together like that, and he's really clever with some of the stuff that he says and whatever. So
well, there's a lot of work that goes into that too. Like when you when you see interviews of rappers, they really do put so much thought into it as far as like educating themselves. Like it's not from school. It's like just reading and understanding like how words and syllables and things like that work. They just get it. They have it down to a science. So it's kind of really neat to when you hear them rapping, you're like, yeah, they studied.
No, absolutely. It's like its whole like own like kind of science to it and whatever. And for sure.
Absolutely. Yep. Cool. Okay, my questions are checked off.
We went
your turn.
We had a good time. But what is the change from 1% to West Coast Wrecking Crew? There we go. Say that 3 times fast. There's a video, there's a promo, you came back fire. So what was the thought process behind changing the name?
Yeah, so I mean, originally when me and Jarrell started teaming up, we were actually paired up by a promoter, Joe DeFalco in Vegas. He runs FSW, and so he gave us the name The 1%, and it did fit. Like we were these cocky top percenter kind of guys or whatever. It was a good act, and we ran with it. Obviously, we liked it, and we went to other promotions and started just tagging everywhere. But there was always this kind of like, maybe we should kind of take ownership and do our own thing or change it up a little bit. Eventually, once we had gotten split apart when I went to the NWA, once I was starting to get back to it, I was like, okay, well, this is like our chance at having, like, we just had a clean break. If we're going to restart it and ever change our names and kind of rebrand, now is definitely the time to do it. And especially, I think things had kind of come to light in terms of like the actual 1% of the world. Like we were like, I don't know, like, even though wrestling is a show, I don't really want to be associated with, people who are kind of like making things worse for everyone else. Like we could find a different way to even, be bad guys, even if that's the route we're still going to go. So it was like, okay, what does fit our vibe? And I do think we're a wrecking crew. I do think we kind of harken back to like the Minnesota Wrecking Crew. I liked that there was also like previously in music, a West Coast Wrecking Crew. So it kind of fit our vibe there. If we were combining the original West Coast Wrecking Crew with the Minnesota Wrecking Crew, I think you'd kind of get us. And then also Brock Lesnar and Shelton Benjamin in OVW were the Minnesota Stretching Crew, and I always thought that their look was kind of cool. I was like, okay, cool. If we were like way bigger, then that would be us.
If you blew them up.
Still, yeah, I was gonna say, still, you know, I've been hitting the gym steady, so maybe one day. But I thought that all kind of fit our vibe, and I was like, this is perfect for us. And we shot that video at an effects studio in Los Angeles. And I was like, this is us. We're like getting the band back together. We did the Predator, Dylan, you son of a bitch handshake thing.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it was time for like we had a reset, and I just felt like the rebrand would be better for us.
It was awesome. When we first saw that video, well, I'm just out of touch with everything. So she'll send me stuff all the time. And it was so good. So good. So bravo. Good job. It came out really, really well.
Thank you.
It's true.
Thank you.
It's good. Yeah, I think it's really good. No, you're right. The way you do it, because the West Coast is here to wreck. I was gonna ask, do you think like the West Coast doesn't get enough credit for the wrestling that we have here? I feel like it's like under people's radar, and finally like people are like, oh, okay, they can go on this coast.
Yeah, it's kind of wild that it's like that, because I feel like the West Coast has always had really good wrestlers, but for whatever reason, the East Coast just tends to generate hype a lot better than us. I think that it's helped a lot having AEW seems to give a lot of, even though they're based in Jacksonville, they've given a lot of chances to West Coast guys. Maybe that's partly because the Bucks are West Coast guys, and like people who are, you know, vets in that company, like SCU is obviously West Coast guys. So maybe they're like more inclined to give West Coast people a chance. And obviously Tony's always also like he like really dives into wrestling quite a bit, so I'm sure he also has seen stuff from all over and is very well versed. So that's a really good spot for West Coast people to get recognized. But I do think overall it's much harder to kind of become like an indie guy or get that recognition on the West Coast for whatever reason. But we've always had really, really good wrestlers out here, and we always still will, because if iron sharpens iron. So if you have a lot of good wrestlers, a lot more good wrestlers are going to come out of that. And hopefully we just keep getting more and more recognition. It also, I think it helps now with, New Japan having a foothold in the US, and being on the West Coast has really helped with that as well. So hopefully, I just hope the scene continues to flourish. I was a little worried with the pandemic starting that things would get more spread thin again, but it seems like we're coming out of it, and it seems like the scene's healthy as it has been. There's just probably some of the bigger indies haven't started back up again, but hopefully that changes soon.
Yeah, things around here are opening up. We're getting shows soon, so
yeah,
very exciting. But yeah. Emelia didn't agree, but I feel the same. Like, we need to get our due. West Coast aspire.
I'm biased.
You are
love
biased.
California. I'm like, I felt like Snoop Dogg when he was like, East Coast ain't got no love for the West Coast, and I was like, we're fire. I don't know what you guys are talking about. It's maybe because we're just too chill. We're just vibing over here. Maybe we gotta toot our horns more often. I don't know.
I'm not sure where it started from or whatever. I mean, other than Lucha Underground, there's never been like a big like US TV show that's really been based out of here, at least for a while. It's very few and far between. I'm sure I'm forgetting someone that just isn't very often. We have just like a bit, but there's so much talent. Like, there's still a bunch of talent that goes unrecognized. Still, it's like I was really happy when I saw I feel like someone like Bad Dude Tito is finally starting to kind of get recognized out here, because he's been fucking killing it for years. Like, he's like a top guy. But yeah, there's like a ton of talent. Like that was one of the things that made me move to the West Coast. I started training in Denver and wrestled for my first few years in Denver, and part of why I wanted to move to the West Coast was I was like, I know that there's really, really good talent out here. Yeah. Like, everyone can freaking go. Everyone can wrestle.
Yeah.
So I think that's also too why we're like proud, because we're like, we've seen you on AEW, you and Jarrell. There's like plenty of people we've seen like live or like we've seen here, and we're like, oh, that guy's finally getting their spotlight or their chance, or and like you said with New Japan, I'll be like, oh, I saw that person. I'll see them at I saw them at a show. Now they're on New Japan. Like, oh, so
yeah,
it's exciting. Yeah, it's really cool.
So you've been on like every major promotion, just about. Do you want to hit them all? Is there just like a main goal, or you just want to find the right path for you, or you just want to just keep checking like promotions off?
I mean, it's certainly nice to be able to go around and do different promotions and be free and do things. I think it's just a matter of finding the right fit for myself and Jarrell. Like, I definitely want to be at a place where they're interested in us. I think there's some really promising stuff with New Japan and obviously AEW as well. And I would love to continue to work at both of those places. But I just I know that Jarrell and I are going to continue to kill it no matter where we are. I would love to wrestle at Impact, Ring of Honor, MLW, like all the major promotions. Of course, I'd love to be there. The biggest thing is just finding a place where it's the right fit for ourselves. If we're valued there and we feel good there, like it'd be lovely to have kind of a solid home, but there's no rush to anything. I'm really enjoying the ride as it is right now, so just gonna keep that roll on.
Cool. We're rooting for you. We're manifesting like big things.
Appreciate it. Hell yeah.
Yes, wherever you go, we're gonna support. We'll be in the crowd.
Yeah, that T-shirt is a good one too. We'll be ordering that ASAP.
Yes,
good T-shirt.
Hell yeah, thank you.
There's a sale on Pro Wrestling Tees if y'all are cheap.
FYI.
I just saw that earlier.
Well, like Memorial Day is coming too, so there's gonna be some good deals there.
Or just pay full price.
Yeah, or either way, whatever. I get it. Yeah. I've been there. It's a pandemic. If you gotta wait for the sale, I get it. But prowrestlingtees.com/Royce Isaacs, if you are interested, get yourself a West Coast Wrecking Crew tee. It's pretty sweet.
It's pretty fire. And we've been waiting for that. I've been wanting a T-shirt for a while.
Yeah, for sure.
Millie's waiting on the koozie.
That'll be next.
A koozie?
For sure.
Yeah. Need a koozie.
Your face, koozie. So we're gonna just finish up here, but you're talking about music and things you enjoy. If you could have anybody do your music solo or tag team or both or whatever, who would you do? Who would you pick? You could have a couple options.
Anyone.
Top 5.
Yeah.
Oh, now I have to have 5 people?
I mean, you don't have to. It could just be one.
Oh, goodness.
End up in AEW. Tony Khan has been buying people music, so who knows?
Oh, yeah, no, that is true. You're not wrong.
It's a tough one. It's tough.
That is a tough one. I don't know. With all that kind of stuff, it always has to be like super like thought out and
gotta feel right.
I don't know. It would have to be for me and Jarrell. It'd have to be some kind of like West Coast hip hop. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe like Rodney O and Joe Cooley. You Don't Hear Me Though. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the song, but if you hear it, you'd be like, oh, that song. It's got like a very memorable, like it's very West Coast, and it's got like maybe, I mean, but like obviously the obvious one would be like California Love or something like that. But I feel like that might be a little expensive. Yeah, the Shakur family estate definitely wants big royalties for that. So if we got it, and then like we come out doing like the whole like how they had like the Apocalypse Pirates kind of thing. Yeah, if we if we did an entrance with that, it might be worth the money for the licensing.
I mean, Tupac's I was gonna say gear, but Tupac's costume is really good. That's very
Right.
wrestling gear. Actually, all of them had a look to make it down the ring. Actually,
Absolutely.
Shawn Michaels has worn something like that at some
Definitely,
point.
100%.
If this happens, can we be a part of the
Yeah.
entrance? Can we be some sort of background apocalyptic people?
I mean, you guys did come up with the idea. You guys were here for the birth of the idea, so I think it'd only be fair that you know.
I have an eye patch.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I already
That'd
thought
be
it out.
sweet.
Already thought it out.
Yeah.
Yes. You don't even. Well, you might have to pay us a little bit, but not a whole lot.
Okay,
but
gotcha.
Pay us in Red Bulls, only summer editions.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah,
That's
only-
specific, but easy enough, right?
I mean, it's a summer edition. I don't know. It's real. It might be
Yeah. What
hard
if
to
it's a
find.
winter? That might be really hard to find.
I don't.
True.
eBay.
These are the terms. I get it.
Oh God.
Do what you gotta do.
In writing.
All right. So I think I got all our questions, and we're very excited for the future. You guys are killing it. We didn't even mention Jarrell's like on his like rock situation, being an actor and
Gosh,
on shows. We're so proud of you guys and
so
very
happy.
excited. Keep killing it. Everyone watch Dark and New Japan and GCW and all of the things. You got what you want to plug your stuff? Where can we find you on the internet?
Support him.
Sure. There we go. Instagram, Royce Isaacs, Twitter, Royce Isaacs, prowrestlingtees.com/Royce Isaacs. And yeah, just keep supporting. You should see more of us on New Japan, and you should see more of us hopefully on AEW sometime soon. So, anyone that listened to this, I appreciate you and I love you dearly. And I thank you guys for having me on. It was super fun.
Thank you for being on.
Thank you so much, Royce. We so appreciate it. So grateful. Thank you. Thank you. And we wish you nothing but the best. Absolutely 100%. 1%. No.
There we go.
We like puns.
We do.
All right. So we'll see everybody next time. Thanks for listening. Don't forget 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, all of that. Share with your friends if you're listening, and talk to you next week. Bye.